Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Like, see this thing right here? How does this really like turn around in a circle? So how do it really turn around in the sun? Because see, it got two planets here. It can't really turn like.
Well,
do the other planets turns?
I'm not sure about the other planets, but in this case, Earth, all of the planets don't always stay in the same spot, without moving. So they're not always in a very straight line. And so what happens is that the Earth is going to rotate, but it's going to go around those two other planets too.
Okay, so you don't know about if the other planets move or not.
I'm not sure how long it takes for them to rotate. And I don't even, most of the planets do have to have some kind of movement because of their gravity and all that. But for example, we know that the planets that are the furthest away, right? So what are the planets that are furthest away from the sun?
So there are Neptune and Uranus.
Okay, so those two, they're way too far away from the sun, right? So those two, more than likely, if we were able to move to another planet in the future or something, we wouldn't be able to go to these planets because it would be way too cold for us, right? Because the sun doesn't reach over there.
Maybe the far planets will move because it is all covered in ice, and like when you got ice covered, you just can move, on ice, and that's why Earth moved. Maybe it's close to the sun, and it moved like very fast. But Neptune and Uranus, like they're far to the sun, so they can melt. They can't melt, so they're not free.
Yeah, we would definitely need to be prepared for that cold, right?
Maybe.
Okay, so seasons change as Earth rotates and revolves around the sun because of Earth's tilted axis. Look at the diagram. No matter where Earth is in its orbit, its axis is always tilted in the same direction. Okay. Go ahead and read this, Alita, just so we can kind of think about what we read, and then we'll look at this diagram.
Season change as Earth rotates and revolves around the Earth around the sun because of Earth's tilted axis. Look at the diagram. No matter where Earth is in its orbit, its axis is always tilted in the same direction.
Okay, good. So let's take a look at this example right here. Actually, you know what? I wish we could see it all together, but we can't. Okay. So here we have the Earth, okay? And so do you see these green arrows right here?
Yeah.
So you can say that these green arrows are the orbit. So it's the path that the Earth is going to follow around the sun. Okay? And this movement, or this, how the Earth is moving around, it is rotating, right? It is rotating around the sun. And we can see a red kind of line going through the Earth, right?
That's the equator, right?
The equator is the horizontal line. So it's this line going across the Earth, right in the middle. Do you see this here?
Yeah. I thought you were talking about that line.
I'm talking about the one going from the north to the south, right here.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. So this one is the axis, right? So that's what, that's like the finger in the basketball. So that's what kind of turns the Earth around it. And if you see, it said that the axis is tilted. When something is tilted, what does it mean? If I say, Alita, tilt your head so you can see better, what are you doing?
Like, if something happened in this direction, you have like...
Right. So it's like a slight turn, right? Or, you know, if you tilt something, you kind of, almost like if it was falling a little bit. Okay.
Yes. Do we like tilt or something?
Well, that would be kind of like
That
a
counts
rotate,
too.
right? That's kind of turning around your finger. But a tilt, you can tilt your pen. So this, you can tilt your head. You can tilt anything. You know, if you have your notebook like this, you can tilt it. So it just means it goes to one side. Okay.
Okay, so that means is my iPad like this?
Well, it doesn't have to move. It's just a change in direction, right? So it just goes to one side a little bit.
Okay.
That's just a tilt. So here we're talking about the axis, which is that red line going up and down, and it's tilted. So if you see it's not straight up, it's kind of, actually it's like this, a little bit to one side.
A little bit here so I can see better. I turn my head.
Yeah. And so here we have the seasons, right? So we have spring, we have summer, we have fall, and then over here we're going to have winter on the other page. Okay, so this is just how and where the earth is tilted. I mean, it is rotating, right, on the orbit.
Mm-hmm.
So it just really depends on that. So in most places, you know, it might be summer here, but when you're on the other side, it might be summer for the other side, right? So it really depends where you are in the planet.